Your sense of aliveness is not based on how you feel. The thing is that it doesn't matter how you feel. You can feel super anxious, you can feel very angry, you can feel very sad or very happy. And you can still feel your aliveness within those different states of being. They are not determined by the aliveness that you feel. The aliveness is always there. The question and the perspective that you need to catch here in order to shift this is what I will cover in this video. So just follow along and we will go through this together. So, let's say you feel really frustrated and there is anger there, okay? And maybe you feel a bit kind of disconnected from yourself when you feel this frustration and anger. And when you feel the disconnection from this frustration and anger, you don't really feel alive, do you? You feel kind of numbed. You feel like this fog in front of you. And you can't really feel yourself. So then it's easy to think that it's because I feel frustrated and angry, and therefore I can't really feel myself and my aliveness. But this is not true. You can feel your aliveness, even if you are frustrated and angry. But the thing is that when you feel disconnected from it, the disconnection is really a resistance to feeling it. So you're resisting this state of being, and thereby you're resisting your own aliveness. So what happens when we allow ourselves to feel the frustration and anger fully? We get in touch with our aliveness. We get in touch with our emotions. And then this becomes fuel for our authentic expression, which is our aliveness. So it's not the anger or sadness or grief or whatever that keeps us from our aliveness. It's our resistance to feeling it. And the resistance is what disconnects us from both the anger, sadness, or grief, and at the same time disconnects us from our own aliveness. So it's a matter of fully going in and feeling these emotions. And when we do, we access the aliveness that is already here. Because you always access your aliveness when you're fully in tune with the present moment. And you cannot be fully in tune with the present moment and at the same time resisting a sensation that you have in your body. When you're resisting what is here, you're resisting the present moment, and thereby you're resisting your own aliveness. Yes. Maybe this is a bit of a game changer for you, because it sure was for me when I started to realize this. So here we are. You're feeling this frustration or anger. You're having this disconnection from it. So what's bridging the gap is to go in and feel it. But maybe you don't know how to go in and feel it. Maybe you have never really allowed yourself to go in and feel this anger or frustration. And therefore, you end up in this stage where you feel disconnected from yourself. Maybe you also judge your anger. Maybe you judge it to be like, when I'm angry or when I'm frustrated, I'm not in my best mode, for example. But in truth, you're in touch with something real and you're resisting this. And therefore, you can't really access yourself. So then it becomes a practice to get in touch with your anger, to get in touch with your grief, to get in touch with your sadness. Or even like some people are afraid of being like really lit up and happy because they were taught that to dim their light. So whenever they start to feel happy, they start to like disconnect from it. And this is also just disconnecting from what's here and what's true, based on a story, based on a memory, based on something that happened in the past. But now we're not in the past, we are in the present. So therefore you can reinvent your life, you can reinvent the story. And actually you don't need to hold on to a story at all. The only thing that you need to do is to become very aware of what is going on within yourself, and then allow yourself to express it as it wants to unfold. And maybe you have this objection that I can't just go out and scream in the grocery store around other people if I feel angry. And the answer to that is maybe that's not the best thing to do. Maybe that will scare some people. Maybe that's not like the best suitable environment to do this. Like, it's not suitable to have sex with another person butt naked in the grocery store where there are kids and stuff like that around. It's just common sense, right? So what you can do instead is to find a safe spot where you're maybe alone or with people that can hold you and can see you, and where you are allowed to express yourself like this, and you go to that anger and you express it. And if you still feel like there is like you feel like you have maybe some grief that you haven't really allowed yourself to feel, or some anger that keeps coming up, and you keep feeling disconnected from yourself, and you keep feeling like you can't access your own aliveness, and your aliveness is determined by the state of being that you're in. So you can only access it when you feel joy or happiness, for example. And the truth is that when you are just fully in touch with yourself and allow yourself to express whatever is in front of you, whatever is within you, you are in your aliveness. You feel this, flow of energy within your body, where it's just like a free space for your emotions to move. And this is when you really tap into your aliveness. And it's an art to living from this state of being. And it's possible. You can access your aliveness at all times. But the question is, and what you need to really focus on, is when you close yourself off, or rather when you feel like I'm not in touch with my aliveness, know that it's fundamentally already there. So it's rather that what emotion am I avoiding to express or face or feel right now? That's the question. And then to look at that resistance to feeling it. And this is the part that going from the resistance and avoidance from feeling it towards actually going in and feel it. This is the part that many people struggle with, and where they get stuck, and where I felt stuck for years, and where I still stumble sometimes. But I've dedicated a decade to really, get to know my emotional spectrum. And I've also studied acting, for example. This is a great tool where you really get in touch with different parts of yourself that you didn't even know you had, because you go in different roles and play different characters, right? And through this, it's like hijacking those emotional states. But it's also I've really allowed myself to practice being sad in front of other people, being angry in public, not this outrage, but still I feel kind of free to be in my full emotional spectrum, almost like a 3-year-old would feel. A free 3-year-old don't second guess when they get angry in the store or when they have a tantrum. And of course, as you get older, you also have, like, you can manage your emotions a little bit better. So maybe you don't have that tantrum in the store, but rather when you come home, for example, or with someone that can hold you. So anyways, the key distinction here is that your aliveness is here all the time. You have access to it all the time. And it's a matter of allowing yourself to feeling the emotional state that you're in. And if you don't have access to your aliveness, that's an indication that you're avoiding to feel an emotion or express a certain flavor like sadness or whatever it can be, right? Or anger. And when you notice that, okay, this is my work, this is where I'm avoiding, then you can start to look at that resistance and find ways to feel safe enough to go there and feel it. And this is the part where a lot of people need help. I myself went to therapy for many years. I invested like $30K US dollars into different coaching containers. I've been to retreats. I have had support around me, and I've allowed myself to immerse myself into groups of support. And as I'm speaking, and what I've felt for quite some time now, is that I want to make a community. I want to make a living space where we can gather, where you can practice to feel these emotions so that you can access your aliveness that is fundamentally already here and become more of your unique, flavorful self with all the different textures to you, right? Where you don't feel like you need to shut yourself down anymore, where you instead feel safe enough to open yourself up, to feel more of yourself, to feel more alive and just more expressed. And this is what will, shift everything for you in your life, because everything starts here, and then it has the possibility to have a shift in your relationships, in your love life, in your career, everything really. So if that is something that you would love to be a part of, I'm currently developing that kind of space. So you can just comment down below, I'm interested in the community or something similar. Then I know there is interest from you out there, and I'll keep you updated. And with that said, I hope you got something out of this video, and I'll see you tomorrow, because I upload every single day. So if you vibe with me and what I have to offer, make sure to show up tomorrow. So, bye.